Welcome into this special bye-week edition of Vegas Nation Mailbag. I'm Elaine Wilson alongside Gilbert Manzano. And Gilbert, we got to talk about this week, man. First of all, I would need to say, I got the score very close. Very close. The final score of this one was 27-3. I predicted a 30-6 victory for the Seahawks, and man, did they show up in London.
The Seahawks or the Raiders?
The Seahawks, because the Raiders definitely did not.
They did not. They decided to leave late, and they left their offense in California as well. It was a bad performance. I had the Seahawks thinking, I was thinking it was going to be a close game because I wasn't sure how good the Seahawks were. Or the Raiders were just that bad to only score, 3 points, and they got that the 3 points, that field goal towards the end. So it was pretty much a shutout. Offense, defense, special teams, all three phases of football were horrendous for the Raiders in the UK.
If they had made that field goal earlier in the game, I would have been even closer in my prediction. And you were giving me so much crap saying that the Seahawks blowing them out. How could they? But man,
I didn't think the Seahawks were, again, I don't know if they're that good or the Raiders were that bad, but I thought the Seahawks would be kind of close to the Raiders level. But they're miles apart right now, and I don't know if it was just leaving that late for London or maybe the John Gruden losing the locker room with so many trade rumors and so much going on, so much chaos. This season, it feels like a nosedive right now.
A nosedive, a tailspin, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I feel like travel had to have been a factor in this just because they arrived so late and the Seahawks had arrived so early that they actually had the time to adjust and get back into what they normally do, whereas the Raiders, who already normally don't do great, as we have seen this season, then show up late, don't have a lot of time to prepare and adjust. And there's got to be some of that playing into this.
Yeah, when you say adjust, it's kind of the theme of the season. John Gruden is not adjusting. He's not getting better. He's not making his team better. The offense took another step backwards from that Chargers. I didn't think it was going to get worse than that Chargers game. Somehow it did. They only managed a season low 185 total yards on offense. A week before that was a season low as well, 294. So they're getting worse by 100 yards each game.
By 100 yards each game.
That's insane. And Derek Carr's not even getting passing the ball anymore. He's not getting the passing yardage. He had 142 passing yards, not even 150 passing yards. He had 31 attempts. Only 2 went over 10 yards. So he's dinking and dunking. I'm getting worried about Derek Carr again.
Yeah, I would be too. Let's go to some of our Facebook comments of what you guys are worried about or seeing with the Raiders this season. We'll start with Richard Main. Rebuild? Or as I would say, rebuild? That's hilarious. The Raiders have been rebuilding for over 10 years.
Ooh.
He's not wrong.
Man, you could call it maybe been rebuilding 15 out of the last 16 years, except for that one playoff year. It's been bad since maybe, 2002, 2003. You guys are familiar with this rebuild, right, Raider fans? This is not what you expected for John Gruden for a 10-year contract. It's getting ugly. It's not even Halloween. I was saying on the show week 1, give them until Halloween, then we'll start judging. No, start judging now. This team is not doing well.
It's time.
It's time to maybe start the campaign for get Bosa to be on your team, maybe number 2 or number 1 overall. Look at the mock drafts. I'm sorry, but you gotta be real. This team is not gonna play in January.
No, absolutely not. And I am thinking back, that was so recent, that playoff year that they had. That
2016.
There were so many things going right, and Derek Carr was like the Messiah, and everyone was so thrilled. But now we're seeing things just crumbling around them.
If you really looked at that roster in 2016, outside of Khalil Mack and Derek Carr, there was not much around them. It was Derek Carr winning a bunch of comeback games, fourth-quarter comebacks, and he's not even doing that anymore. So if you don't get that from Derek Carr, no heroics, you're going to probably get blown out a lot, and that's what's going on right now.
Absolutely. Next comment we have from Dustin DeFore. I think it's safe to say the Raiders won't have a night-style opening season. I'm guessing he means in Las Vegas. I see no Super Bowl or championship game in their near or distant future.
Ooh.
Now, here's the thing. We could have never predicted what the Knights did, right?
Expansion franchise, so you never know.
Could have never predicted that, so maybe that could happen, but we can see already some of the pieces that may be coming to Las Vegas, whereas the Knights, it was kind of building from scratch. You didn't know who was going to be a part of the team. And quite frankly, when the Knights built their team initially, you looked at that roster and didn't think it was a high-scoring team or a good defensive team even. You didn't see much. So there's a little push and pull here where maybe they come to Vegas, maybe it's magical, maybe that's their big comeback rebuild year and everybody's back on the Gruden train and we're all happy, or maybe we just see the Raiders that we're seeing right now.
See, in the NFL, you know, it's so many turnover. Sometimes you could be last place the next year. You win the division, you go into the playoffs. So that's the beauty about the NFL. But usually you see a couple of bright spots here and there, and then you see the turnaround. If the Raiders don't get an expansion draft like the Golden Knights did, where you're picking some good players, some other teams, I don't think they're going to turn around in 2 years because I don't even think Derek Carr is safe. So if you don't have your franchise quarterback in yet, maybe you draft them next year, you draft them in 2020. So you're going with a rookie quarterback in Vegas. I don't know about Derek Carr anymore because the way he's playing and the way Amari Cooper's playing also, they could be on the trading block. Maybe they release Derek Carr. Amari Cooper could be gone. So all these key pieces that you had going into the season, you thought it was going to be Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, your franchise cornerstone. Now, who knows they're going to be back for next year. That's how bad it's gone right now. They were thinking about maybe no Derek Carr or Amari Cooper, along with Khalil Mack, who's already gone.
Right, and it's difficult, too, if you have NFL fans in Vegas. A lot of them aren't fans of Raiders. There's a big pocket that are, but, you know, you're getting a mixed bag of people who are fans of a bunch of different teams. They recognize these names, and maybe there's an easier way to get behind these teams as maybe your top team or your second team or what have you, because you know the guys. But if you're going to bring in a bunch of new faces too and you're really rebuilding, coming to Vegas, that's going to be hard to get behind for fans, I would think.
Yeah, like we talk about the Golden Knights, they're already, you know, locked into this. The fan base, they kind of, you know, they got that down pat. So I don't know if you could win some fans over with you know, Colton Miller being your franchise in a couple of years. So if you keep drafting the linemen who are not, you know, popular stars, it might not do well for ticket sales. But who knows? Again, if they have a top 3 pick and you go draft a quarterback from Oregon or Bosa from Ohio State, maybe you get some faces, new face, fresh blood. But it's just sad that we're already talking about new faces instead of Derek Carr, Khalil Mack, and Amari Cooper.
Absolutely. And one thing that can always win people over is winning. So that's something we've seen too, where as the Golden Knights, no one knew who was playing for the team except maybe Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, but they had a good gym and good coaching.
Time.
I don't know who the Raiders have a good gym or good coach right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next comment from Chris Perea. I guarantee once the Raiders come to Vegas, they will be a playoff caliber team. Guarantee. Put your money on it, Perea, because man, you'll probably get a good line.
You got a positive take, though. It can't be all
is
bad.
Positive.
If you're a true Raider fan, you're going to stick it out the whole year. And Christopher here is looking at the bright spot, and he's saying in 10 years, oh, not 10 years, but there's a 10-year deal. So there's time to let this team grow. So I get that. You know, this contract is getting worse by the day. 10 years is a long time to have a coach around. If you cut him, that's all guaranteed money. You lose all that money right there. But the way you can look at it, like Christopher is, it's a 10-year deal. There's time to improve. Gruden's not going anywhere, so let him, build the team the way he wants to. Maybe he's, scratching the whole thing and get a new blueprint, get a new face of building it the way he wants to, and let's see how that goes. But after like year 3 and you're not seeing anything growing, any of his seeds planted are not sprouting. Mm-hmm. Okay, then you could burn that contract. But I know it's ugly right now, but you gotta just, see what he does. Because usually with coaches, you need at least 3 years to kind of give him a fair shot. But I know it's ugly right now.
It is ugly. And before we get to some of our Facebook comments, I gotta just show off this website I found the other day because it's just incredible. IsGruden.com. I have it. This is amazing. First of all, so there's a lot of things going on here, right? I don't know who created this, but it's amazing. First of all, in capital letters, no, Gruden is not gone yet. It has a countdown for how long his contract is.
Look how many digits are on there.
When it expires.
That's how long it is.
Yeah, it's insane.
What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh my God.
Yes. So that's how long you have to wait until Gruden's contract is expired if you're really waiting for Gruden's contract to expire.
Hours, they got everything there.
Exactly. Then underneath it you have Gruden has made this much money since you have been on this site. We've been on it for a little bit, so Gruden's made $500 just hanging out here.
Is he trying to raise money to pay off Gruden and go away? Is that what's going on here?
I don't think so, but he is still owed $92 million. So Raiders fans, there's a long way to go. So you're either joining the Gruden train or you're not at this point.
Again, it kind of depends how you look at it. You're like, man, 9 more years of John Gruden, or 9 years to get this right. Okay, we got this. Take your time.
Yeah, it's all about how much patience does this fan base have,
that's
too.
That's a pretty big countdown, though.
Well, that's a big number. That's daunting if you're a fan looking at what's going on right now.
Think about it, man. You pay star baseball players that type of longevity. 10 years, that's like A-Rod money. When you got 10 years, $250 million. 10 years, $100 million for John Gruden, it just sounds bad by the day, but again, it's a big name. Mark Davis wanted to take a big swing, and we'll see if he struck out.
All right, some of our comments. We have Chris Murphy saying Captain Obvious. I'm not sure if it's one of us, but hopefully you're referring to us calling the Raiders bad, because that is Captain Obvious.
Maybe it's one of the comments. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Raiders getting LeBron James.
What?
What would be the NFL equivalent in free agency next year to getting LeBron James? I'm not even familiar with who would be available.
Yeah,
Tom Brady
you
would
want
be
to go
the.
get Aaron Rodgers, I guess?
Yeah.
But he just got paid. Tom Brady's about to be 42, and he's not leaving New England. Maybe get one of the young quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, or Carson Wentz. One of those
Jared
guys.
Goff would be an option.
Or just draft one.
Yeah, or just draft
or develop
draft
one
the next
to
guy.
do well, or keep believing in Derek Carr. He has a big contract. Maybe he'll turn it around. I keep saying that, but maybe believe in him for the rest of the year. But so far, it's kind of ugly for Derek Carr.
Chris also says, I'm ready for the Vegas to LA party train. I'm guessing you mean all those LA fans coming to Vegas?
Yeah,
and back and forth?
Sounds like he gave up on 2018 already.
He's ready for 2020.
His train from LA to Vegas already happened. He wants LeBron on the team. Man, he's looking ahead.
You are an LA guy, we can tell. All right, bye-week rewind. Let's just look back at the rest of, or what the season has been to this point. Gilbert, what has gone right? Because I feel like we'll go through that a little bit quicker than what has gone wrong. Yes.
What went right, man? But maybe this one you got to think about a little more, because there's not much to choose from.
Right.
Let's go with the obvious one first. Marshawn Lynch has been having a good year. I know the last couple of weeks he has not, but it's kind of hard to run the ball when you're falling behind by so much with the Chargers and the Seahawks. So, but when they're ahead and you need Marshawn to give you a first down, he's been reliable. He's breaking tackles. He's blocking for Derek Carr. So Marshawn Lynch being 32 years old and being productive, that is something that went right before the bye week. So other than that, man,
the Browns game.
I was going to say, the Browns game, there was so much positivity there. I was, hyping up this offense for that Mailbag show.
Right.
They scored 45 points. Derek Carr over 400 yards passing. It seems like a month ago already. It was only
Can you believe that was 2 weeks ago? That's insane, right?
And I thought this offense was on the right path to, finally clicking with John Gruden's offense, and somehow they got worse. I don't know what it was. Yeah. I thought John Gruden was putting his blueprint down and getting the system going, and they're gonna be consistent with this offense, because they're getting closer every week from the Browns game, and then you get the Seahawks and the Chargers. I don't know, being on the road. I don't know what it was, but yeah, maybe the trade rumors are getting to people mentally. When you lose that locker room, people kind of give up.
Right.
That could be it, or sometimes because John Gruden is kind of I don't want to say hard.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy.
Yes.
But that kind of gets stale, and it kind of bothers you, and it gets under your skin. You're like, you know what? Forget this guy. I'm probably gonna be traded. I'm done listening to you, John Gruden. So it could be stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, the Browns game was great. Let's see. I'm really trying to think. I know Colton Miller was doing great at first.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt, so I'm going to give him
when he's healthy.
Excuse. When he's healthy, he was looking like a good first-round pick. So Colton Miller, you could throw him on there. Mo Hurst has had some signs of doing well. Also a draft pick, a rookie. But other than that, Arden Key, not much. P.J. Hall's been hurt. But yeah, I guess Mo Hurst, Colton Miller, Marshawn Lynch, and the first month of the offense was a bright spot.
All right, so for what went wrong, I'm just going to start off just listing the special teams, the defense, the offense.
Yeah.
That's,
much quicker, right?
That's pretty much all of it, right? We've covered all our bases.
Especially the defense. Again, I want to maybe give Paul Gunther some slack, because he probably expected coming to Oakland to have Khalil Mack to work with, and then out of nowhere he's gone. So you have to change everything around, and it's not working. The secondary is awful again. I know I was saying early in a couple of weeks, yeah, they're looking okay with Garyon Conley and Leon Hall and Rashawn Melvin. Now Rashawn Melvin and Garyon Conley might be on the bench now. So I don't know what's going on with the secondary. They still have no pass rush. It's kind of been a recurring theme. The linebackers, I think they're playing 8 on 11 over there, because I don't think those 3 linebackers are doing anything. Right. So it's just been bad on defense. Mark Cooper, what a big disappointment so far. He'll give you one game, and the next week he'll give you a stinker. I have him on my fantasy team. Every time I start him, he gets 1 point or less. 1 point or less. That is just not going to cut it for Derek Carr and John Gruden. Man, I could keep going. Again, I don't know what happened with the O-line. Maybe getting Colton Miller playing on my left tackle so early might be a downside, because now he's getting crushed out there. Maybe mentally that kind of affects him too. But yeah, Derek Carr taking 2 steps backwards. What else? the punter is not doing well. The kick return, Dwayne Harris not getting anything. I could keep going and going with this team.
Let me focus in on one thing right now because we're going to talk about it a little bit in the trade portion. The wide receiving core. You thought maybe that they were bolstering some things by going out and getting Martavis Bryant from the Steelers and then going out and getting Jordy Nelson, who has been wildly successful with Aaron Rodgers and has had a few bright spots here. But then you're seeing Amari Cooper not do as well. You're seeing those other guys you got in not do as well. So, I mean, what's going on with this wide receiving core right now, and how do you make those pieces work?
Yeah, the Martavis Bryant thing was ugly from the get-go. You give up a third-round pick, and then he's probably going to get suspended. Then he wasn't. Then he got cut. Then he came back.
As a Steelers fan, I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, so that's a lot of drama. Again, I don't know why John Gruden brought some of these guys are like, why is he here right now? You don't need the drama. But when he was out there, he was being a decoy for Amari Cooper and Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson had a big game. We forgot about the game already.
Yeah.
He went out for 173 receiving yards. Amari Cooper has some games here and there, but in terms of Martavis Bryant, he dropped that big touchdown pass against the Browns. He hasn't done much for you. Jordan's been quiet. And again, that falls on Derek Carr. He's not moving the ball. Jared Cook was probably, I forgot, he's a bright spot. Jared Cook was a solid tight end, but that usually means when your quarterback is not moving up the field, you're just going to take the first option, which is Jared Cook, the tight end. And credit to Jared Cook is catching the balls.
Right, exactly. All right, Aaron Hernandez, welcome back. Aaron says, burn it all down with 3 crying emojis. I mean,
yeah.
You got to kind of
That's
stick
what John Gruden's doing right now. It's a fire sale right now, and he's trying to burn it down.
It's that meme. I don't know if you've seen it. The dog with the fire all around him, and he's sitting in his house, and he says, "This is fine. Yeah, this is fine." Okay. That's kind of where we all are right now.
But that just reminds me how excited people were to get John Gruden. I was kind of doubting it. I was like, why he hasn't coached in 10 years? And 10-year contract. And I'm like, okay, well, he's here now. Let's kind of make the most of it.
They really went all in with it.
But, in February and March, people were really excited for John Gruden. I'm like, did we forget John Gruden from the Buccaneers? Or John Gruden who will tell you one day that this guy's a star in the media and the next day he'll cut him? Like, John Gruden is a guy who's kind of erratic. You don't know what's going to happen. And he goes by his own rules. So
absolutely.
Yeah, he's burning it down right now, John Gruden.
Burning it down. All right. Larry says, hey, Larry, what's up? Are they still going to trade Cooper? Any truth to that rumor? Let's get to that. Let's talk about who is on the trading block right now. It's should he stay or should he go? Yeah. Let's start with Amari Cooper. Now he's injured. So that really complicates things if they were ever thinking of trading him, which Gruden denied.
Yeah, he will. Like I said, he'll tell you one thing in the media and pretty much it'll be a straight-out lie, and the next day he'll trade the guy.
Yes.
Same thing with Khalil Mack. We love Khalil Mack, and he's gone.
Right.
So I don't believe anything John Gruden says when he's talking on the media nowadays, especially now when you're 1-5 and all signs are pointing that you're going to start training these guys to rebuild. He won't say the word rebuild or tank, but I think that's what he's doing. But the rumors are out there. When Ian Rappaport is tweeting out information on Amari Cooper, he's usually right. 99.9% of the time he's right. So I think they want a first-round pick from Amari Cooper, which they're crazy right now. Amari Cooper is not first-round talent.
No, not
even close. I know he was a 4th pick in 2015, but he hasn't shown it. There's so many players in the draft that you could get much better at 2nd or 3rd round, and Amari Cooper is not playing like a 4th overall pick. So again, the 1st round, maybe you kind of put it out there. Maybe somebody takes it, like the Cowboys. The Cowboys need a wide receiver.
Yeah, they could use it.
The Jaguars, maybe they kind of bite and here you go, take my 1st round.
But the Cowboys might be back on the horse after what they did against Jacksonville. I mean,
but maybe they're like, hey, we got momentum now. We should go all in on a wide receiver.
Yeah.
But it's going to be kind of hard to sucker somebody into a 1st-round pick for Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But to answer the question, I think he should go. It's time for Amari Cooper to get a fresh start. It's not working with Derek Carr. Not even like from this year, from last year. It's kind of been off and on. I know he had a good first 2 years. He went over 1,000 receiving yards, but the last 2 years kind of been shaky. And I don't know. Again, maybe you want to get away from John Gruden right now. So for Cooper, it could be a fresh. Maybe you want a fresh start.
All right, let's get to Carl Joseph. Should he stay? Should he go?
I don't think he has an option. I think John Gruden wants to get rid of him. He's not playing. This guy was a former 1st-round pick in 2016. That was 2 years ago, and he can't even get on the field anymore. And because again, John Gruden does not like Reggie McKenzie's picks for some reason. And if you got drafted by Reggie McKenzie and he did not have any say in it, he probably does not like you, and you're probably going to be on the trading block, which Carl Joseph is. I don't know if somebody likes Carl Joseph that he's going to leave before October 30th. He's kind of a smaller safety, but he could hit. He's a reliable tackler if you care for that for a safety. But, yeah, he should go, definitely. I just don't know where you're going to get him returned before October 30th.
All right, Garyon Conley. This one hurts a little because the Raiders have just put a lot of their chips on this guy.
There's a pattern here. They're all first-round picks by the Raiders.
Exactly. So it's kind of tough when you look at this and go, yikes, because you obviously thought you saw something in this person for a while.
Again, more John Gruden lies. He kept hyping up Garyon Conley throughout the whole training camp. Yeah, Garyon Conley's the best. We're going to start him. Darryl Worley comes back in. We're not so big on Garyon Conley anymore. So, I don't know if it's just John Gruden not liking McKenzie picks. He's like, anything he did, I'm not going to mess with. But Garyon Conley, again, he was hurt all of last year. He had some flashes this year. Maybe when you want to get some value, this is probably the guy right here. But
to keep or give away?
To give away, because you might get something here, because he's a new first-round pick. 2017 was just last year.
Still fresh, right?
Still fresh.
So you could still argue that he's like getting into his own.
Yeah, and quarterbacks take about 2 or 3 years to get developed. But I'm gonna say keep Garyon Conley. He might be the one blue chip prospect that you have on your team. So just keep him around and see what you got with Garyon Conley.
All right, Jordy Nelson, new to the Raiders this year. Should he stay? Should he go?
Man. If you're a team, again, maybe it's a cheaper bargain. If you're like a team like the Cowboys or the Jaguars with wide receiver, Jordy Nelson might be reliable. He's shown that he's consistent, and with a good quarterback play, I don't know if Dak Prescott and Blake Bortles will help him out.
How old is Jordy Nelson?
32. That sounds like it's not too old.
It's not too old, but on the wide receiver front, it kind of is.
Veteran.
Yeah, and our perception on age has been skewed by how long quarterbacks are staying in the league.
Marshawn Lynch is like 40.
And
42.
and Marshawn, exactly. So.
But yeah, I think if you get some type of value for Jordy Nelson, you should go too, because you paid him a good amount of money and it's not working. You thought you're going to be somewhat of a playoff kind of contender, to put it nicely. But yeah, if you get a 3rd or 4th round pick from Jordy Nelson, you go ahead and do it and let him go. So 3 of those 4 guys, you should go.
Yikes. All right, going to some of our comments. Carl Joseph is better than Reggie Nelson.
Yeah, that
Agreed?
is true. Yeah,
Disagreed?
Reggie Nelson is an older guy, but again, he's Paul Gunther's guy.
Right.
That's the thing. If you played for Paul Gunther in Cincinnati, you'll get a shot. But if you're drafted by Reggie McKenzie, I don't care where you were drafted, you're not going to get a shot.
Yikes. All right, we also have a comment from Wes. How does a playoff team go to a trash team so quickly with so fewer
Straight
changes?
To the point. Man.
Well, I'm not going to put it on John Gruden's shoulders, but you could say that is the biggest change that came to the Raiders, or Khalil Mack, that those are the 2 biggest changes with this Raiders team since this playoff too.
I feel like somewhere Jack Del Rio is like smoking a pipe and laughing.
What is Jack Del Rio up to?
Has his feet up right here. Like, yep, told you guys should have kept me. Like, I took this team to the playoffs for the first time in 12 years.
He's chilling.
He's like, laughing. Like, you wanted John Gruden. And Jack Del Rio's, laughing it up right now. He's texting Khalil Mack every day.
That's
hey,
really
Khalil,
sad.
he traded you this guy over here.
And here's why it's sad, because when he left, I think we all kind of agreed that it was like the right call, right? And so, did we agree that it was the right call? Do you think it was the right call? Looking back now, because hindsight's 2020.
I still think so, because with Jack Del Rio, it's kind of like, okay, well, 1st round team, that's kind of what you're gonna top out at. Is that what you want to be kind of mediocre land? That's what you want to do. So, but John Gruden kind of
Raiders decided to take a risk.
Yeah, take a high reward kind of thing. But Jack Del Rio, at least with a poor roster, he got the most out of you. He got the most out of Derek Carr. He got the most out of Khalil Mack with no help, and he got a Defensive Player of the Year with Khalil Mack. But yeah, he gave Jackson.
It just kind of makes you wonder what this team would look like right now, right?
They might be. Well, I know a year ago was hard. They were 6-10. They went downhill, but maybe there was John Gruden whispers in the locker room, and he kind of was like, why am I even trying here? I'm a lame duck here. I'm not coming back. But it seemed like Jack Del Rio, at least for a couple of years, got the most out of this team, and right now this team is not putting its best effort for John Gruden.
6-10 sounds like Disneyland for these Raiders, honestly, right now.
Yeah, that's what I predicted this year, and yeah, we're not going to get there probably.
No, I don't think so. All right, some rapid-fire questions to kind of wrap things up. What will the Raiders' record be at the end of the season? I think they could get 3 wins. That's my optimistic side.
You sound so positive.
I think they could get 3. I'm more realistically thinking 2.
Oh, man.
Which is rough.
Yeah, so they're in a bye week right now. They come back and they play the Colts at home. They're a much better team at home. So I'm not gonna go yet, but I'm gonna say if they win that one, after that they might not get a win after that, because they're gonna be heavy underdogs after that. I know they play the Cardinals.
Fans are crying right
but
now.
they're playing the Cardinals in Arizona, and they're terrible on the road. I know it's just, but they went to LA,
and
it's
we
just
Phoenix.
Said
before the show, Cardinals have a little bit of momentum behind them. it goes to show the Seahawks had momentum behind them this week, and the Cardinals kind of have the same thing after playing a tough game against the Vikings.
Yeah, and they have a better defense, but you went 3-13. I'm going to be different, and I'm probably going to regret it. So I'm going to go 4-12.
Okay, I appreciate your optimism.
I was going to say 2-14, but I was like, I'll just
yeah, we'll go there. All right, will Derek Carr cut down on the turnovers? Only time will tell, right?
Yeah, he actually did not throw an interception in London. That's a positive.
Yeah, that's huge.
But he fumbled the ball twice.
Yeah.
So that's why I said turnovers there, not just interception. He still has 8 interceptions.
And because he knew he couldn't take any of those deep shots downfield.
Yeah,
he didn't have any protection.
Taking and dunking. He got sacked 6 times, so a strip sack was going to happen. I get that. You can't see from your blind side when Colton Miller's getting rocked by Frank Clark. Again, the Seahawks defensive line, we said on the show, who are these guys? Well, they showed out a week ago, and they told me their names. But, yeah, 6 sacks was not good for Derek Carr. I think he'll cut it down. I'm going to say yes. You got the bye week. Maybe they're going to focus on that. Hey, Derek Carr, protect the ball better. Throw it out of bounds or just take the sack and hold the ball. Who knows? They got to figure that out because right now he leads the league in turnovers overall.
Mm-hmm. All right. And we were talking about it earlier with the cornerback situation. Who should the Raiders start at cornerback?
What a carousel here at cornerback.
Anyone. No, I'm being real negative Nancy here. I think Garyon Conley would really benefit from some time to.
Yeah, when you're 1-5.
When we're at this point in the season.
Yeah, give the kid a shot.
If you're already putting all your chips in.
Don't put Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie in there as a starter. He's not doing anything for you. I saw a funny tweet where somehow the Raiders got older when they put in Daryl Worley in DRC. I'm like, Rashawn Melvin and Garyon Conley are probably your most talented cornerbacks. I know they were struggling, but they're better talent. Stop going with the old guys you feel like just because they're older are going to be more reliable. Enough with that, John Gruden. Develop these guys. I say go Garyon Conley and Rashawn Melvin for the rest of the year.
And if you see any value in Garyon Conley, you want to actually put him in these game time situations and see how he does. And I don't think you can really truly evaluate him until you do that. So if we're really looking at should you keep him, should you trade him, it would make sense to actually play him. So A, you can look at him, and B, other teams can look at him.
Yeah, and the other one, I think Rashawn Melvin could be a trade candidate. He only has a 1-year contract. He's a reliable cornerback, but he's not happy right now with John Gruden. He's already talking on the media saying how it's a slap in the face. He's not playing right now.
Right, exactly. So bad blood there. All right, it's a few weeks away. We're on a bye week this week, but we're going to go and just look quickly at that Raiders-Colts games.
There, right?
No predictions.
I came close to saying
No, we'll say that next week. We'll save our predictions for then. But what do you see out of this Colts matchup? You kind of alluded to it earlier.
Man, this is kind of a similar team. But Andrew Luck is playing much better than Derek Carr. But Andrew Luck is throwing a bunch of interceptions as well. But it's Andrew Luck and Derek Carr and nobody else. These two teams are both 1-5. But we got to give the slight advantage right now to the home team, the Raiders. The Colts are going over from Indy too, and the Raiders are coming off a bye week. Maybe they'll be healthy. The O-line was really banged up right now. Maybe they'll benefit from that week off. And Amari Cooper and Seth Roberts who got hurt during that London game. But yeah, these are two very bad teams who just have nothing around their quarterbacks, and they're both really well-paid quarterbacks. So you kind of got to go with it. Mm-hmm. Andrew Luck has a bum shoulder, but he's kind of getting that rust off, but he's throwing so many turnovers. So maybe this could be a week where the Raiders get some takeaways. Yeah, maybe the Raiders could take advantage of another maybe equally bad Colts team. I'm putting quotes because I'm not certain of that. But yeah, this would be a good chance for, if the Raiders are going to win some games this season, this would be the perfect opportunity. Who would you rather be right now, the Colts or the Raiders? Oh, that's tough. The Colts, because I have a little more faith in Andrew Luck being completely healthy, and I have a lot less faith in Derek Carr. But yeah, you're right. Andrew Luck looks like he still has a lot of velocity in that arm. So yeah, I think you might be right there. He's still one of those guys that you consistently say is reliable, even if he's having a bad season, even if a couple things are going wrong. Exactly. He's one of those guys that you're going to keep around for quite a long time. Whereas Derek Carr, I'm looking at with this huge contract and going, ugh. And who's the coach too? Like, nobody's safe. Yeah, I don't think so either. So yeah, I would definitely, I would rather be the Colts this season, but I
agree with you that
I
I'm going
can't
to give a
disagree
very
there.
slight advantage to the Raiders.
Andrew Luck.
No score predictions, but I would
Not
say
yet, but yeah.
even if the Raiders
being at
win,
home, that's kind of the only reason why.
I would say even if the Raiders win, it would be a close one.
This could be maybe a battle for the #1 pick. The loser might benefit in the long run. Like you could call
They
it
might.
for the Colts already have a quarterback, but you want to get a good
Suck
edge
for
rusher?
luck was quite the campaign.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So
and it
they might
has
not-
worked out fairly well.
But for the Raiders to have more options, you want the quarterback from Oregon, or you want Bosa from Ohio State. So those are two guys that people really want this year. So maybe this could be the #1 pick game.
Yeah, and a couple Cardinals fans that I know are pretty excited and hoping they can get him as well. So we will see about that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of 1-5 teams. Nobody's winless, but there's like 5 1-5 teams. So the league at the bottom is pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that on a future mailbag, the race for the worst in the
Well,
league.
that'll be a topic for sure.
That will be a topic. All right, well, make sure that even on this bye week, I mean, we're still reporting. We're still doing everything that we do. So make sure that you're on reviewjournal.com for all of your Raiders content. For Gilbert, I'm Elaine. Thank you so much for joining.